guys, welcome back to our channel What Up Canada. So today we have our lovely friend Urja with us.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about a very interesting topic for which we got a lot of queries, that you do a interview with a student in Canada. So Urja came as a student here in Canada, and today we're going to talk about what was her journey, why did she decide to move to Canada, what courses she took, and how is she finding everything here in Canada after her student courses. So Urja, when did you come to Canada and how it's been like? Why did you decide first of all to come to Canada?
I guess I was a little bored and wanted to explore a lot more. And it was somehow that decision at that point of life where I was like, okay, maybe because Canada has a lot of multicultural people, it's completely new for me and I wanted to experiment. I came in May 2016 and I started project management at Centennial.
Okay.
And it was a 1-year postgraduate program. So I finished it in 8 months. So I finished in December 2016
Okay.
itself. And then I took a break of 8 months and then started another program in Seneca, which was social media.
Okay.
I definitely did have a lot more better experience at Seneca. The staff was amazing there. The professors that I had were all already working in the industry, so they were familiar with it wasn't just like book knowledge, it was more of what is actually happening in the industry.
Okay.
So that helped a lot more to understand like what is happening currently and not just like what we read.
So let's come to the next question, that how did you manage to apply for the colleges here? What's like the checklist or the research that goes into searching for colleges or the programs that you want to apply for? Is there a set of eligibility criteria, any tests that you need to give, maybe IELTS or CELPIP or any other exams?
So definitely your score that you have got previously in your universities or whatever you've studied in, if you have, or your high school, that does apply. If you're applying to universities and colleges here, they take that into consideration.
Do they ask for the transcripts, or you need to get your
Yes,
ECA done?
you have your transcripts that you have to send it to the colleges or the universities. They take the GPA that you have into consideration if that matches. Also, certain times if you're repeating a course, those credits can be used up if you're applying to universities.
So is it just the transcripts that they ask for, or you need to get the educational credential assessment done?
You don't really need to get that assessed. You don't need a
WES and
WES when you're applying
just
to
need the
university.
transcripts.
You just need the transcript.
You can actually see tears in our eyes. It's not because we are crying. It's
really
because it's
windy.
so cold and windy that there are trickles of tears in my eyes, and hopefully you can see hers as well.
Mine is more evident, I guess. You definitely need IELTS.
Okay.
Every university has a certain score that they have set as a cutoff. You need to score more than that, which is normally around starts with 6.5. And the more you score on it, the better it is, because that actually gives them an idea how fluent you're in English and if you can keep up with the courses at the university.
Talking about the next thing, so if a student or if someone who's watching you back home, how should they prepare themselves if they want to come to Canada?
Right.
What's like the steps that they need to follow to get a student visa in Canada?
So getting a student visa is not that difficult. All you need to do is you have your IELTS score, your university admission, that helps you in. And also there is something called GIC that you need to deposit, which is around $10,000 into a Canadian bank account, which helps you get through day-to-day expenses as a student for the first year till you get financially a little stable in the country. So when you come over here, they usually give you $2,000 from that, which actually helps you find an apartment if you're renting that, or if you are buying equipment like computer or something that for school use or books. So for immediate expenses, they give you around $2,000 for the first time, and then over the period they give you $650 or $670 every month. So
Okay.
that can help you pay your rent a little bit and with your day-to-day expenses.
Okay. So it's basically like you shortlist the college,
Yes.
see what's the process like. Do they require IELTS? Do they require any other stuff?
So IELTS score is definitely needed for admission in school. That's how you get admitted into it.
And then you get a letter of
Yeah, and you get a letter, yes, an acceptance letter, or your university sends you out a few documents that yes, you have been accepted. So you apply on the website itself. If you go on the CIC website, they have a section which gives you what documents that you need to submit.
Okay.
They have a very detailed list. It's all online.
And self-explanatory.
Absolutely. They give you every single step, and it's very detailed and very easy for anyone.
So once you do it, your application goes further. And the
Yes,
next set
and
of-
then they assess if they should be allowed. Then it goes into the CIC. The immigration services handle your application.
And once you arrive here in Canada, what are the sort of challenges that you came across as a student? Were you able to survive with the GIC that you talked about, or you had to like work extra for your bread and butter? And
Right.
so how's the life as a student here in Canada?
So actually, when I came, because I was in Centennial, the first year that I spent was in Scarborough.
Okay.
And because of that area is more residential, and in 2016, I was paying a lot less rent. I was only paying $450 rent. So which kind of helped me pay off my rent, and with extra income from part-time job, I was able to work with a lot more.
Got it.
But if you are proper living in downtown or other areas where now rents have gone way up, it's a lot more harder without the part-time job to kind of cover your expenses.
Okay. And the good part is Urja has already paid her loan out.
Yes, I have.
And how much time did it take for you to pay out your loan, and how much was it for?
So my loan was $30,000, and over the period of 1.5 years, I paid it off.
Wow, that's amazing. $30,000 is close to like 15 to 18 lakh rupees, which she has already paid it out. Further down the line, obviously, she's going to apply for her PR. She's already in the process of applying for her PR.
Yeah.
And hopefully she'll get it soon. Did you like decide on getting like a 2-year student visa, or was it like a 1 year first and then you decided to do 1 more year of studies and then go ahead with working?
So I took 1 year because I wasn't sure if this is like, I wanted to experience the first year and see if this is for me or not.
Okay.
And that is why I decided to study for 8 months, and then took an 8-month break to actually, and it was during like the summer period, so I really wanted to experience the city life and everything.
Okay. So with a 1 year student visa, how many years of work permit do you get?
So with 1 year of student visa, you get 1 year work permit,
Okay.
and I extended mine
Okay.
for the second program.
Okay.
So I applied for extension, and then after that I applied for my work permit.
Okay.
And that time I got 1 year, because according to the rules here, you only get your work permit up to what your passport is. So if your passport is expiring in next 1.5 years, you only get 1 year.
Oh, okay.
So I had to apply again for an extension, and then they gave me 2 years because my passport was expiring in 1.5 years.
So actually, in a way, if you like apply for a 2-year course, you get a 3-year.
3-year work permit, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So 2
But
years
since you
makes
had-
eligible for 3-year work permit.
One final
Alright.
thing that we want to ask you is that does a college assist you with job placements here in Canada?
What I have experienced is that you don't necessarily always get the support everywhere, and also it's about the person's tenacity to go after the staff members at the college to be like, yes, like really help me out and if you keep on following up, they might be able to help you a lot more, which is very less with Indian students because they are very shy, they are very hesitant, they are not aware about the process, and sometimes it's a lot more harder for international students to keep up because they find that constantly following up is more bothersome.
So indirectly, there's no assistance as such. You need to like network here as everyone does.
Yes.
And keep on applying for jobs on different portals, and that's how you can go about getting jobs here. Am I right?
I would say yes, networking is a very, very critical part of it. If you make an impression on someone, they would be helping you out more to help you, because the more they remember you, they'll think about more when anything opens up here. Internal jobs are very much less posted out to on job portals and everything. But if you have someone that you already know in that company or anyone, they can help you out more with references and everything.
Got it.
But yeah, finding through job portals or LinkedIn or anything, it's becoming a lot more harder because in this city, everything is like a lot more complicated and very competitive.
Yeah.
Absolutely very competitive.
That's right. One final bit of advice that you'd like to give to probably like people who have just completed the 12th standard or are new to graduation, what would you suggest them, whether they should look at a future here in Canada or is it better staying at home in India with their parents?
I think it's be very realistic about it and do not caught up in the dreams. You look at the advertisement, you look at the people, you look at pictures, and you're tempted by it, but it doesn't necessarily always show the truth and the reality.
That way, that
the grass is greener on the other side, and that's how everyone feels it too. And for anyone who has just finished high school, I would say if you're in a field that's very niche and it's actually that's needed here that you feel, I think that's the best thing for you. But if you're doing a very generic thing, then I do not necessarily think, because you're paying a lot more money here. And as a domestic student, you pay a lot less. But international students, it's very expensive for them. If you go to university, it's even more expensive for you for 4 years of study.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a lot for your parents to have that burden, financial burden on themselves. So for me, I would say just research, talk to the people who have already passed through or are in that field, especially in this country, and also try and find the students that are already studying in that program.
Got it.
Because that helps you understand how your professors are, if this is the course for you. And also, if there is, when you pass out 4 years later, the market could have changed. But is there any scope of that for that specific field after 4 years?
Got it.
So you have to do the market research for in some ways, like, yes, where is this going?
Yep.
And if it's a niche, then it's all the more better.
Coming to a new place obviously has so many challenges out here. Do you want to say anything to people who are dreaming
yeah,
to come here?
for sure. I mean, challenges are like you are away from your family. It's harder that you're not constantly dependent. Like whoever you were dependent on, they're not there for you anymore. You have to do a lot of things all by yourself. Cooking, chores, which I think we are very dependent on our mothers to do it for us.
Yeah.
They've always done it for us. It's like you can't find a single thing and you're just yelling for your mom. Like, Mom, where's this? I can't find it. And she always knows where it is.
Yep.
Now you have to do all this by yourself, and it gives you confidence that
Right.
yes, you can do this by yourself.
Absolutely.
You feel a lot more independent. And I think challenges are there, but you can overcome it.
Yep. And needless to say, all these points have been like covered so much in our other videos as well, that you come over here, you start a new life, you have to do everything on your own.
Yeah.
And that's what she did. It's been like close to now 5 years that she's here.
Yeah, it's
And,
end of April would be 5 years.
Yeah. So it's
For
been
me.
good for her, good for us too.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for your time, Urja. It's been a long time no see, I would say. The last time we met was in our Algonquin trip. You guys would have seen our vlog as well. So she was there, and hopefully we meet soon. I think so we can do another round of video. If you guys have any questions, you can probably drop them in the comment section. We can
Sure,
probably have
yeah.
another round of interview with her, talking about her course in more detail. We can cover more about the fee, the program, the course structure, the professors, the job assistants, stuff like that in more detail.
Yeah, any questions, I can help you
Yeah.
answer them.
So drop in your questions in the comment box below. So until next time, take care of yourself, your family,
And stay connected.
Bye.
Bye.